Okay. Okay, I wrote everything down because I'm not that good at talking, especially in front of a lot of people, so I'm just gonna read off this paper. Hi guys, my name's Caroline. I want to thank you all so much for coming. You have no idea how amazing it is to be here with all the people that meant so much to Curtis. He was one of a kind. I know that everyone here knows that. I wanted to start this off with people coming up here and sharing memories that they have with Curtis. I'm going to start that off by reading a note that he wrote me a couple years ago. I'm going to have my cute little sister stand up here with me because I'm a baby and this is going to be really hard. I've been trying to practice reading this note so that I don't look like an idiot in front of you guys, but I can't get through the whole thing without crying. But I have Sam, so I know I can do this. Without her, I couldn't have done any of this. Okay. I'm actually going to read the actual note that he gave me. Okay, so actually, I'll read this. Okay, so he says, I'm writing this note. He says, Dear Caroline, I'm writing this note to let you know that I think you are amazing. I wanted to thank you for all the great moments we have had as friends growing up in the same neighborhood. Like the times we played forwards and when we started a band in your garage, but all we actually did was listen to your uncle's CDs and play along. Whether it was playing soccer or night games, we always had a fun time. I can remember when we were 12 years old playing Capture the Flag and I got your number for the first time, saving you in my contacts as Care Bear. These are all the memories that I would trade for nothing, and I just wanted to let you know. I hope we can create many more. I hope that even when high school is over, I go on my mission, and I go on my mission that we still stay friends, and that everything works out in your life. Because I really care about you, Caroline. Your attitude, personality, and optimistic demeanor has always made you someone that I look up to in life. Thank you for everything, Care Bear. Love, your friend, your supporter, and your #1 fan, Curtis. Okay, who's next? Yeah, if anyone has a memory with Curtis, I know it seems like it's really hard. It's not that bad.
Curtis was one of my closest friends over the past 2 or 3 years. I didn't go to school with him or anything, but I met him through my cousin Eddie, and we've had some of the greatest times I've ever had in my life with Curtis. Some of my favorite times I remember, when I was going to UVU a couple of years ago. Almost every day he would come down on Far Runner because he didn't have a car to drive down. And he would just come hang out with us. Me and Eddie didn't know too many people down at UVU. But he was always there. He came and he was so enthusiastic. He wanted to do whatever we wanted to do. He wanted to go to the gym with us. He wanted to go meet new people. It's almost as if he went to UVU with us. It's hard to see him go this early, but I know he's in a better place. I didn't know any kind of pain that he was going through. He's at peace now.
Does Does anyone else have anything that they want to say?
Yeah, I do. I had just known Curtis, well, I met him my freshman year, and he actually, he asked me out a couple times, and I flat out turned him down. And come to find out, I was the only person that did that. So that was, and every time I'd go up to the Pepperwood Guard gate, he would be there. And I guess I didn't really notice that he was flirting with me for probably a year. And so him and I started talking, and he was an amazing person. And I actually asked him to come to prom with me, and it was one of the best nights of my life. He made it so special, and everyone in our group loved his enthusiasm about everything. And so after that, we had only been, I guess, dating for probably a week or two, and then this happened. And it's hard because he was amazing, and I wish that he could be here, but I know that he's at peace right now, and that he's still going to be here, living on through all of us. And yeah, I'm just grateful for that.
So I've known Curtis since I started playing soccer back in like 6th grade, and Curtis was just one of those people that makes friends with everyone right when he first meets him, you know, and he's like the light of the room, you know, he's the most enthusiastic person that there could be, and I'll never forget Curtis for all that. Make friends with anybody, bring people together. Situations. I specifically remember like when we all played soccer together, and whether he was playing or not, he would get everyone's spirits up and get everyone all energized and get everyone pumped up, and that's just the way that Curtis was. And I don't think Curtis really ever had a bad thing to say about anybody. He had a really pure heart, cared about people. He was one of the most caring people I've ever had in my life. It was really hard to hear about Curtis, but I know he's all looking over us. That big smile that he's always got on his face, and you know, he's at peace now. And you know, God is looking over him, and John and both looking over us. So it's hard to see him go, but Curtis is my best friend, and I love him, and I know he probably loves every single person that's here right now. He's a great man. Yeah.
So I knew Curtis from soccer, probably like a lot of you guys do. And there was no one that was more pure-hearted and kind than Curtis. I feel like even when he got bullied around on the field and people pushed him around, he'd make sure to go after and say, hey, I hope there's no hard feelings. He was raised by a really wonderful mother and a wonderful father, and I've been able to learn over Curtis, being around Curtis for a very long time. And one thing I always learned from him is that he always knew how to make things happy, make things positive, and make the best out of the things we had. I remember late night FIFA tournaments and Halo parties where we'd all get together and we'd play, and then maybe go do some hooligan things at nighttime that probably Lois doesn't know about. But I promise we didn't hurt anyone. But I just know that Curtis had the best smile, and I know that he, just like this man said here, that he truly loved every single person here. And he would have given the shirt off his back for each of you. And he would always be there for any of you. I remember one time I live in Lehigh, and he was with some friends, and they dropped him off, and he walked like 5 miles to my house just to come see me. And I really just, the world lost someone very, very important today. And he always did talk about going on a mission, and I truly believe that right now he's serving one of the best missions he could be.
Hello, I'm Bailey. One of my favorite memories of Curtis, we were in the same ward, and I was always leaving early. And he would always come and follow me and be like, Bailey, please, come to class, come to Sunday school. And I was just like, no, Curtis. I'd always completely refuse, and so he would just come and slump with me. He's just always like down for anything, like any spontaneous adventure, whether it was like walking to the park or taking tracks downtown to like roam the city, anything. He was just always so enthusiastic, and I just remember he would just always like look you in the eyes and just be so sincere with his feelings, and like just tell you that you're like the most amazing person in the world no matter what was going on. And he was just always so positive and just always a great friend. I definitely miss him, but he'll be a friend forever.
When I first moved here from Florida, I didn't have very many friends, and I remember Curtis was one of the first kids to come up to me and make friends with me. There's something about that kid, I think everyone here can agree that he's just a people person. And it amazes me how well he can make a friend with anyone. Us guys playing soccer with him, we used to call him the keeper crusher. And Curtis was one of the most passionate kids I've ever met. And that's something that I think we should all try to take into our lives. How passionate the kid was for life. He was passionate about everything he did. So that's something I'm going to try to incorporate into my life and what Curtis has taught me.
I've known Curtis ever since I became a member of the church, and I think that's a really important part because he loved the gospel more than anybody I know. We'd always stay up late talking about the gospel and how he wanted to go on a mission and like how he was just so ready, and he taught me so much. And I remember like just riding my bike one day when I was like 12, and he like rode past me. He's like, Taylor, oh my gosh, you're gonna get baptized next week. I'm gonna be the first person there, and I'm gonna be the first person there just to see you get underneath the water. And I'm sitting there like, oh my gosh, Curtis Fellows just said that to me. Are you kidding me? And that was like the moment I knew I was like, I'm in love with Curtis Fellows. I love this kid so much, and like ever since then, he's been like a brother to me. And we always had like those long talks, and he had the opportunity to take me to my first dance, and like with that first dance, I was able to meet so many great people, and with that, we've all like been like bonded through that. Like I met Andrew through him, and like I think Andrew and Curtis were the best of buds, and I think it's so, I just love those two. Honestly, can we just say how cute those guys are? And I just think he was just a great person. Everybody who was always around him knew how great he was, and he'll surely be missed. And I love Curtis Fellows.
This is also kind of hard for me because I don't really like talking in front of people, but Curtis and I have known each other since since I can really remember. And but my favorite memory that I have of Curtis is when, right before I left on my mission, and I saw Curtis, and we just got to sit and talk about life and how he was doing and how I was doing, and I was talking to him about how kind of scared I was to leave and how I wasn't sure about everything, and then he just sat there and gave me the biggest hug and said, you know what? God is going to take care of you, and you are going to have the most wonderful experience. And he just said that he loved me and that he was going to be cheering for me the whole time. And he was totally right. And I'm going to miss him a lot. And I'm going to miss how happy and optimistic he was. And I'm so grateful for how much he trusted in God. And I'm going to move forward and do the same and honor him in that way.
I first met Curtis in about 2007. I played with InterFC, and Curtis was right from the get-go probably the most outstanding kid I'd ever met. He welcomed everybody in, and he wasn't the biggest kid, he wasn't the fastest kid. Those that have played soccer with Curtis, they understand that, but they also understand that, like Bubba had said, that no matter what, he would always make sure that he was showing sportsmanship to everybody there, and he was a leader no matter where he went. One thing I think that Curtis understood really well, and I think that it comes from Lois Hand and his dad as well, is that Curtis understood that his challenges and the things that he went through, that he could overcome those. And he knew where to turn when those things came up, and he knew how to help others in that same way. And Curtis has been an amazing friend, a captain and a leader for myself, for the players that I played with and grew up with. And when we would spend Friday and Saturday and summers at the Fellows Home, the leadership that he showed when we were there or when we were out in public is just something that really can't be matched, and it's something that we can all learn from.
Okay, so Curtis, my older brother Bryson, and I, we would just go on lots of adventures, and Bryson's on his mission now, so he's not here, but he wrote an email. I just wanted to read a little bit of it. He said, I was saddened to hear that a good friend of mine, Curtis Fellows, passed away just this last week. My prayers and love go out to his amazing family and to those who knew Curtis. He had a large impact on my life and always had a desire to help me move forward and get on a mission. I wouldn't be where I am without him. So that's just from Bryson, but I just wanted to share a little memory of Curtis. Me and Bryson didn't get along very well, and Curtis would always invite me to go on their little adventures that they'd go on, and he made me dress up one time and get all pretty and ready to go to the mall. And we went to the mall because he wanted to buy a suit to wear to school. So Bryson, Curtis, and I went to the mall dressed up, and we got them suits, both of them. And this man came in and stole Curtis's suit right after he bought it. And so Curtis was running after him, and the security were running after Curtis because they didn't know why he was chasing this man. And it all ended up okay. He got his suit, and we went home all safe and sound. But I'm just grateful for him and all of his encouraging words that he would give to me as I was growing up and learning new things. And he really taught me how to love myself, which is something that I could never repay him. I'm just grateful for him and all that he has done for me and my older brother.
Okay, so I'm kind of a person, so I might be a little shaky while I talk, but I met Cruz my freshman year, and we had online class. He was trying to get all his classes done so he can graduate, and it was Bryson the Munyon, Curtis, Lindsay, Jess, and I, and Curtis was like right there because we talked about life and like adventures one class just planned out our whole life, and we planned out like what the trips we were gonna go to, and we always goofed around about like who are we gonna marry and stuff, and we talked about our challenges in life we both had, and he always told me that I acted a lot older than I was, and that I always told him that we all have a purpose in life, and I told him that his purpose is touching everyone's hearts because he touched mine. And he always helped me through the rough times. I knew I could always call Curtis and tell him everything that was going on, and he was someone I really trusted every day. I always knew I was going to get a compliment, my shirts, shoes, hair, or anything really. He always had the sweetest things to say to me, and never talked bad about anyone. He always said the sweetest things about everyone. He for sure made me happy, and I know he's made other people happy, and he's touched other people's hearts. Whenever he said something nice to you, it's because it's true. It came from his heart. If you know him really well, he kind of went through some hard things through his life, and he overpassed that. He was the happiest person. You could never tell that he was going through that stuff. So I'm blessed to have Curtis Willis in my life, and I am blessed that I can be able to talk up here and be able to share one of my experiences with him, because he truly was an angel, because he was the most amazing person I've ever met in my whole life. And when I found out that he passed away, my heart stopped, because he was one of the sweetest people I've ever met. And my freshman year, I can say, was one of the best years of my whole entire life because of him. So, yeah.
Does anyone else have anything?
Right there.
Curtis had a certain type of energy about him. It wasn't just an energy, but a very positive energy. He could turn any frown into a smile. He could make anybody feel welcome, and he was that person who would make everybody feel welcome, no matter where you were. When I first started working at Pepperwood Gate with Curtis, it was one of my first graveyard shifts working, and I had just recently lost my older brother, and Curtis immediately just knew that I was having a hard time. He stayed with me multiple graveyard shifts, the entire 8 hours in the middle of the night, and just hung out, and he just knows what to say, and he was the sweetest kid. There were times when I didn't feel like being alive anymore, and Curtis was always there to tell me what was up. I single-handedly owe my life to Curtis. It's a shame to see someone so young and so wonderful pass away this early. He may be gone, but he won't be forgotten.
I guess I'm just kind of feeling impressed to share just a little something. My daughter Sophia dated Curtis their senior year, and he wanted to live at our house. I think he asked his mom, "Can I move into their house?" I loved it either. We loved having him around. And he used to have long talks, and I have to just say that I absolutely want to challenge all of you guys to be more deep, because I think in this day and age, people are so shallow, and I think that, technology is part of it. Everyone just texts, and people have a hard time picking the phone and actually having conversations. And to find a person who will sit and give you an hour, 2, 3 hours, and just talk with you about life is few and far between, and I think we can all agree with that. And Curtis would come and just talk, like he wanted to talk deep. And I remember he would do posts all the time with he and my daughter, and then he would come to me and he'd say, you wouldn't believe it. It's almost like the persecution that I get after I do a post, because I write like how special she is to me and how much she means to me and how much our relationship just brings me so much joy and things like that. And he would go to school and kids would say like, no one does that. That is so weird that you do that. That is like, you're too emotional. Like he would get criticized for this. And he really meant the things that he said. And every single one of you guys that had said something, that have gotten up here and said something, it seems like it is unanimous that we all like felt how much he really loved and cared about us individually. Like he really meant it when he said it. And I think that is hard to come by in this day and age, to find people who really feel that deep and who express it. And I think that each of us need to take that example that Curtis had and feel more and talk more about important things and appreciate people. I mean, he's been broken up from my daughter for 2 years, but I would get emails randomly from him, and he would say, remember that time when you sat and had that talk with me, and it helped me so much, and thank you so much. I was just thinking about that. Like he would express what he was thinking and what he was feeling. He didn't have to do that, but he did. And I think that that's what I'm taking from this sweet boy's life, is that he really like lived to the fullest, and he didn't ever want one day to go by not telling the people that he was with that they meant a lot to him. And I appreciated that so much about him. And I know that he's just looking down upon us now, and he's feeling so happy that all of you have come out to support this and to support the Fellows family. And I hope that he knows that we all appreciated the positive influences he had in our lives. And that's all.
Known Curtis for a while. Met him through soccer. We got 10 or 11 years old. We were really close with him the last couple of years. He's always been there for me. He helped me a lot last year with I was going through other problems with my family. He's always been there for me. He was always there to pick me up, keep me going. Always spontaneous. So many memories